Are you asking me if I've been unfaithful?
Claire.
Is that what you think of me, Frank?
No, darling, no. No. All I meant was that even if you had, it would make no difference to me. I love you, and nothing you could ever do could stop my loving you.
Wow. Ooh, that's deep. And that was
I like it already.
All right. Well, that was a clip from the new STARZ series Outlander, which debuts on August 9th. And in the epic tale of romance, science fiction, and adventure, our next guest plays not one, but two characters.
Ooh, double the fun.
Right.
Here with more on juggling two personalities in two different centuries is actor Tobias Menzies. Hello.
Welcome. Welcome. Such a strong name.
I love that name.
Right?
Tobias.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, so we have to talk about this movie, this show, because Outlander is based on this series from the New York Times best-selling author, Diana Gabaldon.
Yeah.
Now, were you familiar with her books before getting this part?
No, I was asked to cast out of London and, was auditioning for it, and so I thought I'd better, have a look at the book, and, was checking out online, and it's this huge phenomenon, it's sold sort of 25 million copies around the world, a huge fan base, a huge readership, so, and that's been a really sort of, a little bit of responsibility making the show to sort of, hope that those fans will be happy with it. But it's been, it's a great story, and I hope the fans will like what we've made of it.
Now, how close will the series follow the books?
Yeah, it's pretty faithful.
Cool.
There are a few things that it is a process of adaptation. So
yes.
we are, it's not the same creature, but no, I think. Ron D. Moore, who's making the show, is a big fan of the books, and I think he was very keen for it to be, a faithful adaptation of the books.
And the show is set in the 17th and 19th century, and you played two different characters and one in each of those centuries. So tell us more about the show and the roles you play.
So, we begin, the story starts in 1945, just about 6 months after the end of the Second World War, and there's a couple who are sort of reunited after the war, trying to sort of patch their marriage back together, and they go to Scotland on a honeymoon. And one evening, the woman, who's Claire, who's the main heroine, goes to some standing stones in Scotland. And by some magic of these stones, she is transported back 200 years to 1740s, which is Jacobite Scotland. And most of the story happens, her adventures through Jacobite Scotland, trying to get back home, trying to get back to her life. And in Scotland, she meets, a Highlander, falls in love, and many things sort of unfold from there. But it's a historical romance, a little bit of time travel. It's a very unusual and kind of dynamic story.
Wait, if you could travel back in time to any era,
where
would you go?
I think I might go back. I'm a big fan of Berlin. I love the city of Berlin. And I might go to Berlin in between the wars. I think it was kind of a lively time there. So I think I'll go and check that out.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so just to be clear, you played one of your characters in the 17th century. That's Black Jack.
Yes.
Now, he's the sinister, more evil guy.
Yeah.
And then you play Frank, the husband. He's a warm, loving guy, very nice. So who do you like playing more?
Well, who do you think?
The bad guy.
Cool.
Yes.
Now, would you say that that's because he's the most different from the real you? Is that why you like the bad guy?
Is he most like you? Ooh, Tobias. Are you a bad boy?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Don't tell anyone.
Right. Okay. So Black Jack lets that come out a little bit, right?
Well, I think isn't that why we like stories about baddies, because they sort of do the things that you're not allowed to do in your own life.
You live vicariously.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. So that's why, and he's a great baddie. It's a great. Diana's written some really great characters, and so that's partly what makes it such a good story.
How do you prepare to play a baddie and a goodie simultaneously? How does that work?
A bit of homework, thinking about it a bit, trusting the story. We have some great costumes and great sets. But, just sort of a little bit of magic, fingers crossed.
This question is a bit pedestrian.
Okay.
And
how do I remember my lines?
I know it sounds so silly, but how do you not get confused?
You...
I mean, you're obviously talented, and you're an actor, and that's why you have a job.
Well, sometimes I do get confused. You know, I mean, thankfully, thus far, I haven't had to do, you know, the two different parts on the same day, because I think I probably would, you know. I wonder in the future whether there might be a day where we'll get, you know, a bit raggedy and they'll go, Tobias, you've got to do it. You've got to put on that wig and let's go again. But
like, cut? Who am I today?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Name, please. Yeah.
Right. Well, you all filmed this in Scotland, so
Yes.
how was that experience?
Oh, great. I mean, have you been to Scotland at all?
I have not.
No, it's a very beautiful country, and it's a real...
very lush.
Very lush. It rains
Beautiful.
a lot. But it's a real star of the show, actually. It's a big part of the series, and it looks fantastic, as people see when they watch. Yeah.
And Game of Thrones, we must speak about
You're a Game of Thrones fan?
Are you kidding?
Yeah, loves
Hashtag
Game-
GOT all the way. So what was it like being part of a series that has been so tremendously well received?
Yeah, I mean, I went into the third season, so it was already such a phenomenon. It was a lot of fun, amazing to work on a show that is so kind of such a complete world. You know, that's obviously slightly different from what we're making because it's an imagined world, imagined world of, you know, dragons and many other things. But yeah, a lot of fun to make, and this I hope will equally find as large an audience. You know,
It definitely
we'd be
will.
lucky. Yeah.
Definitely
Yes,
will.
definitely will.
What's next for you? I hear you have a lot of, you know, stuff going on.
Well, I mean, maybe with a bit of luck, another season of Outlander. I mean, you know, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
It would be great to make some more.
And the first season is 16 episodes?
16 episodes,
That's pretty
starting 9th
impressive.
of August. Yeah, so yeah, it's sort of, it's a lot. And it's somewhere between sort of a cable season and a network season. But yeah, I suppose it's sort of, I think Ron felt it needed that amount of time to tell, you know, what is quite a big story in the first book.
Well, Tobias, thank you so much for being here.
very
Thank
nice to
goodness
see
you're
you.
not in Berlin. We're happy you're right here with us.
And we'll make sure we check it out. Outlander, August 9th on STARZ.
Check it out.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
We'll be right back with more Rise Entertainment 360.